during Kazindula's tenure at Bull Football Club, he did feature in sweet goals and recorded 9 assists in there. Definitely that a footballer in season did the football club down in Somalia. That is of course where there is a heartfelt open message Kazindula gets to the management, his teammates, yeah, the ones of course they did have in there. He's a prestigious Uganda Cup FUFA Super 8 trophies achievements that he does not take for granted. Yeah, these are things that he did help Bull Football Club achieve. He says in his own words, "I feel privileged for the happiness we have shared together, lifting the Stanbic Uganda Cup trophy, Super 8, and as well competing in Uganda Top League. I take with me and unforgettable memories." Those are some of the words that definitely did come from Kazindula. Being a professional footballer is like being an army officer. At times, you go for war and conquer. At times, you leave a stage as you head to another for fresh assignments. These are some of the brief that, of course, coming from Kazindula, that clearly should be telling us that he is slated for a bigger and better, should I say better? I don't know, because he's also crossing over to a UPL side, by the way. Definitely, there will be rivals in there. And I can confirm to you, if you've been a fan of a Bull Football Club, if you're a fan of Kazindula, I can from Wiso Time Desk that Kazindula is, he could be definitely crossing to URA. After the 3 years at there is a Bull Football Club, he gets to leave a Bull Football Club and crosses to there is a URA, and at URA, Kazindula is expected to reunite with the former Bull Football Club head coach Alex Isabirie, one personality he worked with at Cheitume and Hosida in Somalia. And those are, of course, some of the exceptionals that will be coming through in some of course, the transfers that we have locally here. And also in our local stories, yeah, Pakwach youngsters are doing a lot of add-ons. Even Nebi Central did sign in one gentleman onto their books in there. A couple of teams within the regional league. I can also come to you and confirm to you that Arua Airfield is starting training ahead of various preparations for there is the regional. They are the most newest entrance into there is the regional league in there. They did have a very splendid journey from I should say the 4th league division side, where they emerged the winners from the southern zone, and they did come through to face it with the winner from northern zone, which was Vara Boys, and they did beat them, and they were crowned the overall winners and champions over the 4th league division with the 2 zones combined. That, of course, I did see them across over to there is the mini zones for Nyagaki zone that did go down in Madi here, just near here, where we also did see them not being the champions, but then they did qualify in for there is the regionals. So they are most definitely the most newest entrance into the regional league. We are talking about Arua Airfield in there, with the head coach being Ibrahim Faizo, commonly called as Anini the Terminator, who will definitely still go with them, I think, for there is the regional league. But then when they qualify, that is where problems will start coming from, because now when you qualify from regional league, you come to there is a big league, definitely there a couple of papers are required. Yeah, a CAF something, a CAF D, CAF C, and there is a little problem that we are getting to see with there is a head coach that did bring in the Black Angels from regional league to there is the big league, and questions are arising where we are now getting to hear a lot of rumors over getting a new head coach for the Black Angels, and at the same time when you get to question in should I say the former head coach or still the current head coach, he tells you he is a PBA, he will always be a PBA, and PBA runs in his blood, he's not going anywhere. But then when it comes to a certain league, there are papers that definitely will be required. So for Arua Airfield, they still move from 4th League Division to there is a regional league together with their head coach, there is Ibrahim Faizo were in there together with the entire squad, the entire bench, Jojo, the PRO, there is Vegas Pro, and the media guy, Chiki Bado in there. So basically, Arua Airfield to me is one side that definitely has to be watched come the regional league season 2024-2025, because it has a couple of new entrants that did have a very smooth run from there is the regional league. There is Nile Nyagaki zone, but then when you cross over to look at Nile zone, you definitely also get to see that the couple of new entrants from the other side. We have Okokoro United and a couple of, I think, 2 teams that came through from there is a few teams that came through from there is Koboko in there, and of course definitely, we also did hear over the week that Yumbe was, of course, preparing for a Super 8 in there, where in this Super 8, of course, they have, of course, put in groups in, they have put in teams in 2 groups. But before we get there, just our neighbors here over West Nile TV, there is the Mvara Boys that, of course, did finish second in position, have, of course, appointed Erima Dickens as their technical director in there, and in their announcement on one of the social media platforms, they did say, we are delighted to announce the appointment of Erima Dickens as the new technical director of Mvara Boys Football Club, effective immediately. With a distinguished career in football management and a passion for developing young talent, Erima is set to lead our club's technical team to a new height. Erima brings in extensive experience in coaching, talent development, and strategic planning, making him a valuable addition to our club. In his new role, he will oversee all aspects. Of technical operations, including player development programs and coaching initiatives in there. We're excited to welcome Erima Dickens to our team, said Engineer Alfred Ambayo, the president of Mvara Boys Football Club. His expertise and leadership will undoubtedly strengthen our club's position in the football community. Erima expressed his enthusiasm for joining the club, stating that, in his own words, I am honored to be part of Mvara Boys Football Club. I look forward to working with the players and staff to build on the club's strong foundation and drive future success. Remember, I have a couple of there is information about Erima Dickens. He is, by the way, a former player of there is the Mvara Boys itself. So he comes in where he knows where energy is supposed to be put, where energy is due, and all that. So basically, I think that is quite a very good one for there is Erima Dickens. And personally, he is my friend. Wherever someone could be watching us from, I would like to say from there is We Saw a Time Desk and West Nile TV. Of course, we would like to congratulate there is Erima Dickens Dixon in there into there is Mvara Boys fraternity. And I would like to read to you briefly the pulls over the Yumbe Super 8 in there. And of course, this comes to you after the draws were done down there. But before we do that, just like I had said, Nebi Central have signed in a midfielder. There is in the names of Delphine Lusambo, who comes from Buhimbo United in there. And remember, Navy Central, of course, is one side that we did see didn't do quite very well. They started on very high gears. That was last season. But then somehow, I think they did have issues here and there that were definitely affecting them. And we did see them dropping in points very clearly there, which was quite very bad. And they did finish, I think, in somewhere that they didn't want to finish in. Navy Central signing in a midfielder from Buhimba. I think Buhimba is one club that we should definitely be knowing. This, of course, will bring us to the Yumbe Super 8 draws in there. And the Yumbe Super 8, of course, is something that we've been talking about here time and again. We also hosted in the CEO that, of course, leads in there. And I did see the CEO coming through with there is their PRO, Mr. Zaki, in there. And wherever you guys could be catching us from, would like to say thank you so much for coming up to organize this. And now in the Super 8, this, of course, gets to see that the top 8 teams in Yumbe get to feature in this very tournament. The various teams that, of course, did participate in there is the various leagues or tournaments across the region in Yumbe, and this got to see 8 teams coming through for these very draws. And the teams include in Group A, they have Total Football Club, West Nile United, Kochi Urban, and Gila United. And then in Group B, they have BK City, Ottoman Football Club, Araka Football Club, and then Safety Heroes in there. A very tough group that definitely we shall come to, of course, look through in there is the halftime over this very show. Don't you go away. Keep it locked to there is West Nile TV. I've just briefly given you how the groupings in the Yumbe Super 8 will be looking at. Like we are crossing over for a very short commercial break. Don't you go away. Keep it locked to West Nile TV. When we return, we shall be looking at these teams one by one. We're off a very short commercial.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Kylian Mbappe! Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Lamine Yamal, Antoine Griezmann. La Liga comes to Star Times.
A wild celebration!
The big stars, the tiki-taka football, Real Madrid and Barcelona live in your line and Channel 246 starting this August 15th. Subscribe to Star Times Classic or Smart Bouquet at 36,000 Uganda shillings to enjoy the football experience affordably. Star Times Football and Limited Passion.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
Break. If you're just getting in, this is West Nile TV. My name is Susie, and of course we are here for very the sports stories as we were of course sliding off into the very short commercial break. There are seeing us return here. I did give you the Super 8 draws in Jumbe, and of course in Group A I did say we had a Total Football Club, West Nile United, Kochi Urban and Gila United, and then in Group B we have Bika City, Ottoman Football Club, Baraka Football Club and Safety Heroes. So here comes in the debate, which group do you think is going to come out from there is Group A. In Group A for me I see Kochi Urban and Total, because definitely these are teams that did participate in the regional league, that of course was very tough, and we did see the two were chasing themselves neck to neck to see that they get to finish in top position, but for Kochi things didn't work out so well for them, but we did see Total chasing in Araka to even have in playoffs there for the first and second position to attain in an overall winner from the other side. That definitely came down to Rua to face in the overall winner from there is a Nyagakizona, which did happen to be that was a pie. The Black Angels are in there, and then in Group B, those are some of my predictions here. In Group B, we have a BK City, Ottoman Football Club, we have a Raka Football Club and Safety Hero in there. For me, I am seeing Varakala City. I don't know these days how they play, because the last time I think they did feature in there is the regional leagues, but things that didn't work out so well for them. And here I am seeing again Safety Heroes and of course a Raka Football Club. This is definitely a side that we did see. That is a side that we did see, of course, coming for. There is there are a side that came down up to here for there is the playoffs with there is of course Pi the Black Angels, where we did see Pi the Black Angels going through. So definitely Araka will come out cleaner from there is the squad. Jumping there is a West Nile in preparation, by the way, for the 2027 AFCON. Remember, this time around in the Pamoja bid, Uganda gets to host the AFCON 2027 together with Kenya, Tanzania, and its neighbors in there. So in a bid for preparations for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, which preparations continue to go on according to plan. And yesterday, August 13th, a secretariat, by the way, for the local organizing committee was commissioned. The commissioning was done by the Minister of State, there is for Sports and Education, Peter Gwang, who also doubles as the vice chairman of the LOC. In attendance at the fully fledged offices at Lugogo, just opposite the National Council of Sports, was there is the NCS chairman Ambrose Tashobwa, FUFA First Vice President Justus Mugisha, and NCS General Secretary Dr. Patrick Bernard Ogwanga in there. Speaking to there is the press, Ogwanga also revealed that Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania will co-host the Africa Nations Championship at CHAN in early 2025, all in a bid to get prepared to host in there is the AFCON 2027. At the moment, they saw it important to commission the Secretariat purposely to ensure we hit the target of hosting AFCON and also CHAN early next year, as per CAF said. There is Ogwang. For the start, we must have 4 training pitches that meet the standards, and we already have 3 in place that we are working on in addition to Nambole. And these training pitches, by the way, and the pitches that definitely will be used during AFCON is something that has been sparking off a lot of debate in there is a Ugandan football, even amidst citizens in there. Every other person wants to know, every other person wants to get to understand which training pitches these people will use, because remember, in AFCON, the rule says that the training pitches definitely are not used for games, yeah. So the training pitches have to be aside, and then the pitches that will be used for games also has to be aside. And in some of the training pitches where he gets to say that they have already secured 3 to add on Nambole, and they are looking into securing the 4th. These include Nambole, Makere, Chambogo, and now Kadiba. The training pitches definitely that will be used during AFCON. He earmarked as training pitches, with Ogwan confirming government will inject money in the latter at the moment, although it is a FIFA-funded project. In case of CHAN, Uganda is set to host 2 groups of 3 teams each, as per the minister, with Tanzania hosting 2 groups over 4, and then Kenya will be hosting 1 group. At the moment, Uganda has 1 stadium that nearly meets the AFCON standards. There is an Nambole, but works on a stadium in Hoima have started, while Akibwa Stadium in Lira is also being considered, because if we can remember very clearly, Akibwa is also 1 stadium that, of course, did bring in a lot of debate. Some people said it was, of course, it was in plan that it was supposed to be constructed to host in some of the games of the AFCON, and then somehow we also started hearing that it was, of course, ruled off here and there, that and many more. And of course, crossing over to there is rugby before we get to look at a few of the international done deals. Black Pearls and Rhinos won the women's and men's cup finals respectively at the result the Entebbe Sevens. This was the first circuit of sevens total on the 2024 Nile Special Sevens series in there. Both teams received a certain amount of money prize for their victories from the title sponsor. They are now on top of the respective overall standings with 22 points. Black Pearls lead the women ahead of the Avengers, and Thunderbirds on there is the podium. In the table standings, the women's overall standings after round 1, in position number 1, we have, of course, the Black Pearls that have accumulated an overall point of 22, and then in position number 2, we have Avengers that have 19 points. With 17 points in position number 3, we have there is a Thunderbirds, and then in position number 4, we get to have the Nile Rapids, who have accumulated 15 points in there, and then 10 points we have She-Wolves sitting in position number 5, and lastly we have Kitgum Queens, who have only 10 points. And then the Rhinos lead there is in the men's category, followed by the Buffaloes and Walukuba Barbarians in the overall table standings. In the men's overall after round 1, of course, team in position number 1, of course, we have Rhinos, who have 22 points. In position number 2, we have Buffaloes, who have accumulated there is 19 points. And then in position number 3, we have Walukuba Barbarians, who have accumulated 17 points. And then in position number 4, we have there is the Mongas, who have accumulated 15 points. And then with 13 points, we have Heathens, who sit in position number 5. And then Cobs with 12 points, they sit in position number 6. In position number 7, we have Black Pirates, who have 10 points together. At 10 points, we also have Hippos, who are in position number 8. And then in position number 9, we have Rams, who have 8 points. And then lastly, in the men's category, we have the Elgon Wolves, who sit in position number 10. With of course, in position number 10, we have Elgon Wolves, who have 5 points. And then in position number 11, we have Warriors with 3 points. And then Impies sit last on that table at a position number 12 with 2 points. And the next round of the series will be the Mbale Sevens, that of course is slated to start in August 17th to 18th at there is Mbale grounds in there. And of course, in all of that, there is also a sevens series that is going down at Entebbe before the rugby tournament sevens will definitely get to cross over to there is Mbale. The men's and women's pools for the 2024 Entebbe Sevens have been released ahead of the start of 2024 Sevens series. Stanbic Black Pirates were the men's top seed from there is the 2023 series, followed by podium finishers. Platinum Credit Heathens and KCB Cobs, they are respectively in pools A, B, and C. The rest of the participating teams were drawn, including the invited Kisubi Pacers, Jaguars, Chambogo, and Eagles there. So I will be giving you how the pools definitely look like there. In there is the rugby tournament and Entebbe series sevens. In pool A, for there is the men's pool, we have in pool A we have Pirates, Rhinos, Impies, and the Kisubi Pacers. And then in Pool B, we get to have the Heathens, Walukuba, Rams, Jaguars. And then in Pool C, we have Cobs, Mongas, Warriors, and of course Chambogo. And then in Pool D, we get to have the Hippos, Buffaloes, Elgon Wolves, and the Eagles. In the women's competition, the top seed from 2023, Black Pearls are in Pool A, and runners-up Avengers are, of course, in Pool B. And for women, they only have two pools. There is a Pool A and Pool B, unlike for men, where their pools run up to a Pool D. This clearly should be telling you something that the women's team are few compared to the men's team. So for the women's side, they only have two pools. There is a Pool A that consists of Black Pearls, Nile Rapids, She-Wolves, and Panthers. And then Pool B, of course, has Avengers, Thunderbirds, Kidgum Queens, and Kisubi Lady Pacers. The tournament will be played at Works Grounds in Entebbe from August. It will kick off at 8 a.m. local time and Saturday morning before they, of course, shift to there is Mbale. The preparations for there is the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, of course, just like I had said, has kicked off in a very tough preparations in there that, of course, have seen that a secretariat has been put up. So this time around in the rugby, of course, the trend now shifts to there is the Mbale squad there. For there is the rugby, the Mbale Sevens will be taking off, and I have just given you the pools as they will be running in there. And in some of the international stories before, of course, we sign off, Manchester United have, of course, reached an agreement with Bruno Fernandes to extend his contract here. New deal will be valid until June 2027, plus options included for further season. June 2028 salary top at Manchester United. This comes through simply because we did see Manchester United, of course, having in signed in a latest. There is a Euro who also has slided off into injuries in there. And then coming through, Saudi side El Kaddish closing in on an agreement with there is Paulo Dybala on a 3-year contract. Salary and contract terms agreed. Final details are already being discussed. Talks are still going on. There is between AS Roma and El Qadsia, as a couple of money has been released in there, and the clause is no longer valid because his contract expired in July in there. And then also Liverpool have agreed personal terms with there is Georgi Mamadashvili. He's keen on the move, even spending 1 or 2 years elsewhere on loan. Bournemouth open to sign him. He had become Liverpool's new goalkeeper after Alisson. Agents now in Valencia for clubs talk, and I can confirm to you that no agreement has yet been reached. Meanwhile, Eduardo Chamavinga has suffered a strain over the internal collateral ligament in there is the left knee. Real Madrid staff expect Chamavinga to be out for about 6 to 7 weeks and return around October. By the way, a couple of injuries are eating up very key players over clubs. I don't know when the season starts, like how it's going to be. There is for Manchester United because they have, I think, the longest list of they have the longest list of, they have the longest list of, I should say, of injuries in there. There is for Manchester United. And this time around, Chamavinga adds in the latest being injured from there is Real Madrid in there. And then in Arsenal, negotiations between Arsenal and Real Sociedad for Mikel Merino remain active. The player wants to go to Arsenal, and the two clubs are in direct contact in there to see to it that, of course, negotiations go on. Bruno Fernandes signing his new deal in Manchester United today. There is something that already we did discuss in there. And after Cole Palmer, Chelsea want to reward Nicholas Jackson with new contract as negotiations have already started. Talks are ongoing over a longer deal and a higher salary for Jackson, as a club is very happy with his impact on a faster Premier League season in there. And then also somewhere Charlotte Football Club leave the negotiations for Miguel Almiron deal collapsed now, despite initial agreement on contract terms. No agreement between clubs as Newcastle requests was too high in there. Liverpool have agreed personal terms with Georgie, just like I had earlier on. I told you that, of course, and many more stories that, of course, will be coming through. You can literally follow from there is social media handles or our YouTube and the rest to, of course, follow in more of there is the breaking stories that definitely could be coming up from there. And thank you so much for keeping in West Nile TV. My name is Susie, and big ups to you out there, viewer, wherever you keep watching us from. I cannot mention. And up next will be, of course, the movie hour with more interesting programs that will be coming through. Don't you go away. Keep it locked to West Nile TV. A blessed afternoon.